Yo, what is up, everybody? Sarsco back again with another chapter from the story titled Don't Turn Around 2, written by Jacob Harris. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to the author, like, comment, and subscribe. Chapter 4. The trio arrived at a house that looked to have been abandoned for quite some time. By all of the houses that are seen in the city looking abandoned, this one looked like it had let go far earlier than any of the others. The weeds had laid claim to the front garden, and the exterior of the house was covered in dirt and algae. "This is the place," said Izumi, scanning the house from outside the front gate. Shin was scribbling notes down in his notebook. This is where Dr. Nishimura lives. I tried as hard as I could to get him to work with me on several stories, but never could. Maybe the story should be about this house. It looks haunted. Hey, he was a brilliant man. A bit of a recluse at the end, but from what I understand. Should we be doing this? Well, couldn't hurt to knock on the door, see if anyone moved in after he died. When Izumi knocked, the door gradually opened from the force. Izumi looked back at the others. Trespassing is a crime. Look around. There's no one here. God is basically telling us to go into that house. No, God would have anything to do with this place. Izumi timidly entered the house. Hello? Anybody here? Sorry for intruding, but the door wasn't locked. Jin and Kenji followed. What's so special about this guy anyway? Well, before he died, he was investigating the deaths that were taking place in the city. Why didn't we cover this story? Seems right up our alley. Yeah, I don't know, man. Police said it was the work of a serial killer. They had no intention of admitting the deaths were supernatural. The trio ventured further into the house and discovered that no one had lived there for at least a few months. A layer of dust was covering everything in sight, and the air reeked of mildew. We should look for Dr. Nishimura's research. That could shed some light into what's happening. Behind one of the doors the trio came to was an office. Well, guess we'd better start searching. Everyone took to a different part of the office and began scanning the numerous files and newspapers to find any information on the mysterious deaths that were taking place. Only after a few minutes, Izumi made a breakthrough. Guys, I think I found it, he said, showing off a red folder. What's it say? Well, it looks as if Dr. Nishimura documented all the deaths that he believed were linked to the case. The first deaths were a couple of high school girls. He couldn't find out what their names were or what school they attended because of privacy laws. But Dr. Nishimura says they were definitely the first. Jin picked up a blue folder that was lying underneath the red one Izumi had found. The next two deaths were a husband and wife. They were found dead in their home by their own daughter. How awful that must have been. Oh wait, look, listen to this. One of the victims was a man named Yamamoto. He was a detective who worked the cases for the first few deaths. You think he was getting close to finding the killer and had to be dealt with? Sounds like a possibility. It seems all the information we're looking for is in this folder. No reason for us to stay here any longer. Yeah, I should get going. This place is making me nervous. Izumi had to nudge Shin to get his attention, as he was focused intently on the notes he was reading in the blue folder. The trio piled into their van and headed out shortly thereafter. I don't feel right about taking these notes without permission. Can't be helped, Izumi. That place had been empty for who knows how long. I think the good doctor would want those notes to be found and put to good use. What is so fascinating about what you found? Izumi action, who would barely lift his head up to look at the others because of how captivated he was. This story that Dr. Nishimura was working on? It seems there's a haunted cliff somewhere in this city. I wouldn't come here for that, Shin. But fascinating. We came home with 2 stories instead of 1. Look, we have to focus on one story at a time. We have to find where Yamamoto lived and hope he kept notes on this case outside of what he was keeping in his office. You think we should find the police station? Snoop around there? It would be far too risky. Snooping around an abandoned house is one thing, but breaking into a police station is something that I don't even think Yamagata would approve of. If only we had the names of those girls, and we'd be able to figure out why they were here first. If our search comes up empty, might I suggest... Look, I already told you, we don't have time for that. Do you even know where we're going? I actually don't know these roads. Plus, the fog is making it hard for me to see. You're lucky I haven't driven us straight into a light pole. Still no signal, Izumi said, pulling out her cell phone. You know where there might be signal? The higher we go. Are you trying to get us to that cliff? I mean, he has a point. We can get to higher ground. Maybe we can get above this fog and get a signal. Izumi folded her arms and slumped in her seat. Fine, but we're going only to find a better cell signal, and that's it. The 3 arrived at the beach a short time later. Izumi's best strategy was to raise her phone above her head. Still can't get a signal. We have to go higher. How do I know you were going to suggest that? The 3 followed a small trail that would lead them to the cliff that Shin so badly wanted to see. Upon reaching the top, Izumi raised her phone above her head. Still not getting a signal. Izumi continued walking forward, but Shin grabbed her arm and stopped her. What is it? Shin said nothing and merely motioned for Izumi to look ahead. Standing near the cliff Shin had wanted to see was a girl. She had her back turned to the 3 so no one could tell she was going to be friendly or hostile. Who is it? Whispered Kenji, before taking numerous photos of the mysterious girl. I don't know. It's not the same girl that jumped out the front of the van. She's not dressed in a school uniform. Led by Izumi, the 3 cautiously made their way closer to the girl. They stopped when they felt they were a safe distance from her. Timidly, Izumi said, hello? Might I ask who you are? The girl slowly turned around. My name is Sayuri. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end, chapter 4.